As always, give me a minute. Let me tweet this out or whatever, if anyone even checks it on Twitter. But then I also posted in the community post. That one's a little bit more important. I know more people see that. So, um, yeah, just give me a minute here and yeah. Congratulations, Marcus. It's been a while since you've gotten your pick right. Bell went on a three-peat there earlier, and I think you were on pace for like 25 or 26 wins. But then, oh well. He ended up losing a few races there, but now he's back to his winning ways. Almost done. And that is up. Okay, let's go. Okay. Took me a little bit longer than I would have wanted, but hey, I think it worked. So if it didn't, let me know. I haven't even looked at my framing really of my dumb self. So, anywho, welcome to the stream, everyone. Hope you're doing well. Happy Monday. It's a busy one, though. I think we set a record this week for most ever tabs that we've had since we've been doing this. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 tabs. And I probably forgot something too. That's the craziest part. So we've got a lot to cover. We've got some quick news stories first, and then we'll get into some of the more deep stuff from the weekend regarding IndyCar. NASCAR, we'll do a little bit of F1, and then we have a lot of Monday picks to make as well. We got to do Monaco, Indy, we got Xfinity, and then we got the Coke 600. So we got a lot to do tonight. Welcome. I can't see the names. Marty, welcome. In Between the Lanes, welcome. David. Hope you guys are all doing well. But yes, great one by Christopher Bell indeed. But okay. All right, so we're going to do a couple quick news stories. It's just press releases, not much else to it. First one, RFK Racing. Obviously, last week, Chris Buescher got a massive penalty, got 60 points taken away, crew chief suspended for 2 races. He has already served one of those races at the AllStar Race. They took a while, but they have decided ultimately to appeal the penalty that was handed to them, so we will see what that ends up being. Or how that process goes, but they released this statement saying, after a thorough review of the penalties issued to the number 17 Ford Mustang, RFK Racing has decided to appeal NASCAR's decision. We respect NASCAR's commitment to fair competition and appreciate the opportunity to engage in the appeals process. Pretty straightforward. Not much else to it. 1 of 14. Check. Number 2, from Connor Zilic. Connor Zilic released this statement saying, "I'm back. My back is all healed up and I'm ready for a big weekend at Charlotte. I'm pumped to make my second Cup start with Trackhouse and get back in the Xfinity car with Junior Motorsports. Big thanks to everyone who helped me get back so soon." So yeah, Connor Zilic obviously missed the race at Texas. Kyle Larson subs for him, goes on to win that race. But Zilic had a back injury sustained at Talladega. That was about 3-4 weeks ago now. So he's healed up. He's good enough to go for the NASCAR doubleheader for him. Remember, he's making his second ever Cup Series start. Made his first start at COTA. He is making his second ever starts in the Cup Series at Charlotte. This is going to be his first oval in the Cup Series, so we'll see how he does. He's going to do the number 87 car once again, the Red Bull car. So, yeah. Now this next news. I'll get to the comments in a minute. I see a few people typing stuff. Let me just say, this next bit of news, there are going to be quite a few memes out of this one, to say the least. You'll see what I mean. When I hit the X on this tab, you're going to see what I mean. But there are going to be a lot of memes on this one. Yeah. F1 and Mickey Mouse have teamed up for some sort of sponsorship deal. I don't know if there's going to be like an F1 park at Disney World now. If Disney's going to freaking buy a Formula One team, they've bought everything else. I don't know the context, but when it comes to the Mickey Mouse memes, these are going to reign supreme. So, yeah, just thought I would share that with the internet here. Anywho, we'll talk about this in a minute. Let's go to the Cup Series results real quick, and then I'll go to the comments. But yes, I just want to start this off by sharing some of that news that happened today that I didn't make a video because I was prepping for this live stream. So those were the 3 bits of news. That F1 one was very last minute, but it was funny enough that I thought, let's share it. Yes, Denver, you have been updating me a lot, or you've been providing updates on the supercars because I know you're, well into supercars. But let's see here. Kyle Larson is crew chief, signed with Premier Racing Team with a AAA engine as well. Hey, I know there's been a lot of rumors regarding Larson in terms of a supercar start. Adelaide's at the end of the season. It's after the NASCAR season. It was last year. I'm pretty sure it is this year. So, yeah, I'd love to see Larson in it for sure. I'd love to see our drivers go anywhere and compete. So, I'd love to see it. I think he's a really good driver. I think he's got a great chance to be competitive. That's just my opinion. Curious to see how he adapts being on the other side of the car, though. I think that's the biggest thing for him. So we'll see how that goes. 1.65 million Aussie dollars prize money would be nice right now. I'm assuming that's the equivalent to 1 million American dollars. Yeah, gotta agree with you there, Marty. That would be nice. And Christopher Bell here, he has $1 million or 1.65 million Aussie dollars. So, yeah, that'd be nice. Guess it's not for all of us, but yeah, for sure. Christopher Bell obviously went on to win his first AllStar race last night. There was some controversy. One person saw a controversy. I was circling Chastain. I meant to circle Logano. Logano saw a controversy for some reason. Here's the thing. I went back and watched the highlights. Joey Logano literally did to Christopher Bell what Christopher Bell ended up doing to Logano. So Logano did it first, where he forces him up the track, runs him up, not into the wall. Nothing was egregious by any of them. I thought it was just good, hard racing. But Logano runs him up the racetrack, as he should, playing defense. And Christopher Bell said this. He said, hey, that's what Logano should do. He should play defense. It's for the win. It's for $1 million. He should be defending that hard. But then Bell does the exact same thing to him. And Logano is suddenly mad about it and talking about how if he's going to race me like that, I'm going to race him like that. Dude, you did race him like that. It's like, what? Why are you so mad? I mean, I know why he's mad, because of the whole Michael Waltrip Caution, which, by the way, is still really funny. I couldn't stop laughing all last night. So I get that he's mad that he lost the race. I get that he's mad of how he lost the race because of a gimmick caution and it was a silly thing and whatever, and everyone knew about it, but I don't get why he's mad at Christopher Bell. Anywho, that's the least amount of controversy regarding Team Penske right now. As I said, we'll get into that in a minute. Ooh, oh my goodness. Chase Elliott in the Adelaide race would be so fun because Chase Elliott is one of our really good road course racers, and he's a great driver. Brad Keselowski is a champion of our sport. I would love to see him try it out if he wants to have fun. I'm trying to choose my words wisely here. He's never been a great road course racer, so that surprises me, I would say. I think that surprises me that he would want to go and do road course racing somewhere else, because he had a couple of good runs like in 2012, 2013. But outside of that, I can't think of any good Brad Keselowski road course races. He's never won at a road course in his 17, 18 years in Cup. So that kind of surprises me. But we'll see. But as for Elliott, no, I think Elliott, that'd be great. Yeah, Chandler Smith did win the truck race in between the lanes. One of these, that's the truck points. That's the truck series results. Is that, speaking of, it's Chandler Smith's second win of the year. He won at Bristol earlier. He also got the fastest lap. Got a bonus point for that. Good for him. Yeah, there was some controversy regarding the end of the truck race. So much controversy in so many different ways. My goodness. Yeah, so Chandler Smith, he didn't do anything, but this is the second straight week we've had Lane Riggs make an ultra-aggressive move to try to take the lead of the race in the final lap of the race. Ryan Blaney tried his best to recreate the Dale Jr. slide job call, and it about went the same, honestly, because he yelled it. It was a failed slide job, and someone ended up spinning in the whole process, but Lane Riggs tried a slide job on Corey Heim and missed, and Corey Heim goes spinning, and Chandler Smith picks up the win, and Corey Heim ends up all the way down in 17th. So Heim has been having a phenomenal year. He should have like 4 more wins than he already has, and he already has 3 of them. He should have won Homestead if his engine wasn't cutting out all those times. This weekend, if he didn't get dumped. And then what was the other one? There was one more. I can't remember it. But Corey Heim, he's getting mad. He went and confronted Lane Riggs. Let me tell you, Corey Heim is so mature. Like, so often we see guys just go up, they get dumped, and their immediate reaction is, let's go punch someone in the face, let's go start a brawl. This is 2 times now in the last year that Corey Heim has had something go nowhere close to his way. Last year, I think it was at Milwaukee. Corey Heim and Christian Eckes made contact, and it was nothing egregious. Eckes just washed up the track a little bit. Heim cuts a tire. Heim ends up finishing 13th or whatever. And Heim just went up and talked to him, and they had a nice conversation about it. Nothing aggressive, nothing confrontational, really. They just had a nice, solid conversation. Kind of like what happened with SVG and Todd Gilliland last night. They went up, they talked about it for a few seconds, and that was that. It never escalated beyond that. And it was, I will say, yesterday's was a little bit more aggressive. It was the same thing where it's you go up, you have a face-to-face, you talk, but Corey Heim did all the talking. He was not happy. He said, don't do that, or whatever he said, and he didn't let Lane Riggs respond. He walked away, so he was mad. He was more mad than he was last year at Milwaukee or Gateway, wherever it was. But, yeah, just a lot of maturity out of Corey Heim, considering that's another time this year that he's gotten a win taken away from him. Boom Shakalaka, that's a great name, says, when's the next street race? That will be July 5th and 6th, I believe. I think that's the weekend, the first weekend in July. So that's the next street race in NASCAR. Next road course is June 15th, Mexico. Daniel Berry Sports Highlights, welcome. Yeah, John Hunter. Oh, I didn't pull up the AllStar Open, so that's a tab I missed. The AllStar Open. How do I get to the Open? Here we go. AllStar Open, yeah, I would have never guessed. I think I could have guessed. I did pick Hocevar to win, actually, on Twitter. I tweet a lot, okay? So if you want to know what I'm doing, just go to Twitter. I tweet way too much. Anywho, so yeah, Hocevar ends up winning. I did not have John Hunter Nemechek second. You know, looking back on it, I should have, because he ended up finishing second. That sounds dumb, but no, they've had a fantastic start to the year. They're on the playoff bubble. They're on a hot streak right now. They got a couple top 10s in a row. They make the All-Star main event, which is great for them, Legacy Motor Club. And yeah, and then Ty Dillon third. Who wants to talk about Ty Dillon? Well, we're going to talk about Ty Dillon, ladies and gentlemen, because we had some beef. So, this tweet comes out from Steven Turano. Apologies if I mispronounced your name. Who's at the race covering the event. Ty Dillon and Zane Smith have a conversation. A somewhat not so friendly conversation. Obviously, they talk right there, but as you can say, Ty Dillon says something there. He's still barking back, and we got our NASCAR security guy here who's like the head of security who makes sure people don't fight, and he's making sure they don't fight. So, yeah, Then it escalates because Ty Dillon gets interviewed after the race, and he says, I was so mad, and what did he say? He said something like, if he does, I got the quote up here, actually. He says, if he wrecks me again, I'm just going to have to beat his ass. That's what Ty Dillon said about Zane Smith. Well, Zane Smith logs into twitter.com and says, ain't beating nobody's ass. So I completely missed this because I was so focused on the SVG versus Todd Gilliland thing that didn't escalate to anything, by the way. And little did I know, Ty Dillon is threatening to beat someone's ass, and then we got Zane Smith here saying that he's not going to. Beef. Short track tempers, baby. Come on. So I completely missed this on Saturday night or Sunday night, whenever it was. So apologies for that, first of all. But second of all, what a random combination of two drivers that have, I hate to say beef, but that had something go on between them to the point that they got to start threatening each other in terms of beating each other up. I just thought that was funny. So, yeah, Ty Dillon and Zane Smith, and it escalated to Twitter. So, when it escalates to Twitter, that's how you know it got real, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, so I think that's it. But we get rid of another tab. We're down from 14 to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We're down to 10 tabs already. Wow. We're blowing through them, baby. It's only been 17 minutes. Hello, Trey Rail Fanning. If I pronounced that wrong, sorry. Yeah, Corey Heim, he's led a lot of truck laps. He's been there too long, if you ask me. And I mean that in the nicest way possible. I mean, he's really good. Dirty Def says SVG team, worst pick all ever. So, yeah, Shane Van Gisbergen, obviously, he ends up down in 13th. And this is where it gets confusing. You see this number right here? 54. Only 2 people led laps on the AllStar Open on Sunday night. Carson Hocevar, the winner. SVG down here in 13th. You're probably wondering, how do you get to 13th? I did my recap a couple nights ago, so you could go listen to that long, strung-out version where I explain everything. But basically, long story short, there's a caution at the halfway point, and you have the decision of pitting, taking tires, or staying out. But when you pit, you can take 2 right side tires, you can take 4 tires. Nobody stayed out. Everyone came to pit. SVG was the first car to take 4 tires, but there were 5 cars ahead of him that took 2 tires. So all of a sudden, SVG, who's dominated this race so far, he's led 54 laps. He had a 4-second lead or whatever it was. He goes from 1st to 6th. This is going to be his first time in traffic all night long. Don't know what the car's going to do in traffic. So it's going to be a different experience versus being up front, clean air, no one in front of you, no one around you. And obviously it went very poorly for him. They got stuck on the bottom lane, burned up the tires. There was another caution. The back half of the field comes in to get fresh tires. They stay out, and they just got cooked at that point. So, yeah, SVG in his post-race interview on Fox, he said that him and crew chief Steven Duran had talked about it before the race, getting 4 tires. Just having that extra grip, and obviously it didn't work out. So, I mean, looking at it from the future, obviously you can say, yeah, that's a terrible call. Like, what are you doing? But at the time, from all the data and research, they might have thought they had something. You know, that, hey, 4 tires, that's great. It's going to work perfectly. We're going to blow by everyone, even if they have 2 tires. But obviously, that wasn't the case. Everyone only had 50 laps on those left side tires. Now, we saw 2 tires did not work as well in the AllStar race in the main event, but that's because guys had 80, 90 plus laps on those left side tires, so they wore more versus the 50 that we had in the AllStar Open in a much reduced race. So, yeah, obviously it didn't work out for them. They missed the event, the main event, main show, whatever you want to call it, but he ended up beefing with Todd Gilliland for about 30 seconds. So that was exciting, I guess. But Anywho, yeah. So, Marty, it'll be so far from now if that even happens, but I'll do my best for you. So Tori, I get what you're saying. The random cautions, they're dumb and whatnot. This weekend was an exception. Tori, we don't have promoter cautions. We don't have, well, okay. Should I complicate this? Yeah, I'm going to complicate this. We don't have, okay, I'm trying so hard to phrase this. We have gimmick cautions every single week. We have stage cautions where we know what lap they're going to fall on. You know, this upcoming week, we have 3 stage cautions. Lap 100, lap 200, lap 300. A yellow flag will fly. We know those cautions are on that lap. However, we don't have the ultra gimmick caution where it's a range, where it's like 200 to 220. Somewhere in here, there can be a caution. The AllStar Race is where NASCAR can kind of mess around. It's an exhibition race. There's no points involved. If you don't win it, ultimately the race does not matter to you. Just going to put it straight up like that. So this is where NASCAR can experiment. They can have a little fun. They can play a little bit looser. They can have a promoter's caution. They can mess around with the aerodynamics package. I said that last night and there was loud thunder, and there are thunderstorms back in the area, so I wanted to see if that was going to happen again because that would have been so funny. Apparently not, though. This is where they can test out weird tire compounds. This is where they can test out engine things, where they can test out all these different formats and whatnot. So in terms of the gimmick cautions, we don't have them every week like that. But personally, I love the stages because they award consistency. When we see someone lead, like Kyle Larson, for example, at Kansas, leads 221 laps. He sweeps the stages. Well, let's say late in this race, with 7 laps to go, he blows a tire, and suddenly he finishes 30th. Well, back 10 years ago, you would have nothing to show for it. You finished 33rd, you led 221 laps, but you only get 2 points out of that? Like, you have nothing to show for it. Whereas now, if you sweep the stages, you lead all those laps, you get 20 points out of that, or 22 points out of that. That's a good chunk of points despite the very disappointing result. However, I will say, I am not a fan of the stage cautions. I think we should let races progress naturally. We should let the strategies progress naturally. When we have these stage cautions, when we know when the cautions are going to be, that forces everyone into a window of, oh, we know what the strategies are going to be. We know when we're going to pit at least once, or when we can pit around. We work around the set cautions. So I think the stages are great. They award consistency. I just don't like the stage cautions. That's just me, though. Some people love it. It gives them a break. You can go to the bathroom or whatever, or if you're at the race, you can go get some popcorn or whatever. And from that aspect, I get it. And at this point, it's a TV thing. You know, like TV is a big fan of it, I'm sure, because they can play more commercials, which we will get to in a minute. Really excited to show you guys that. But, yeah, so there we go. Dirty Def say, yeah, Dirty Def, I hear you. The clean air was so important, but if you were better, if you had much fresher tires, as we saw with Christopher Bell, you could pass. It may take you a while, but you could indeed pass. If you were better, you could pass, but I get what you're saying. The dirty air was so difficult. The clean air is so much of an advantage. You would have thought they would have more than likely taken track position, but nope. Boom shakalaka, thank you. I appreciate the kind words and appreciate you for being here. So, yeah, thank you. It means a lot. Yeah, I hear you once again, Dirty Def. It's that 2021 All-Star race. I was there at the race, and I was so confused the whole time. We had like 7 or 8 stages. we would invert the field. Then it was based off pit crew times, and you can't even see it because you're not the one with the stopwatch. How am I supposed to know that the 9 car had a 8.6 second pit stop? How am I supposed to know that the 2 car had a 9.2? I can tell if someone has a bad pit stop because you can see they're slow on the right front, they're slow on the right rear. That fell off the jack. Like, you can see that stuff. But when everyone gets a clean pit stop, how am I supposed to know? So the weird inverted formats, I'm kind of glad they shifted away from that. That was a little silly. That was a little confusing. But if they're going to do anything silly, why not do it in the All-Star Race of the Clash? Yeah, okay, Tori, once again, Tori, I get what you're saying. That Riley Herbst caution was terrible. Riley Herbst did not even do a half spin. He didn't even drift. He goes up the racetrack, does this, straightens it out. I don't think he even hit the wall, and NASCAR was like, oh yeah, get Michael Waltrip. Michael, throw the flag. Michael, throw the caution flag. It's still so funny. I gotta pull up the gif of it. It's that funny. I just think this is the funniest thing on earth. Michael Waltrip, man. Dude, it's just so funny. Everyone, we're pulling up the Michael Waltrip throwing the flag again because it's just so funny. Okay, Christopher Bell. Here we go, baby. Yeah. Oh, nope. Here it goes. Why am I not? Oh, well, okay. Watch this. Throw it. Whee! John Hunter Nemechek has to avoid it. God, it's so funny. I can't believe he did that, man. Genuinely. Cannot believe it. God almighty. It's so bad. So funny, though. So funny. Yeah, Denver, dude, that Michael Waltrip thing was so funny. Marty, that is a fantastic question. I do not know how the $1 million is handed out. If you want my opinion, honestly, I was thinking about this earlier today. I'm glad you brought it up. If it was up to me, I know that the big check with the sponsor on it or whatever, that's the thing. You hold up the giant check, but I think they should do it like the movies where they have this ominous briefcase and you open it up and it's $1 million in cash. That would be so cool. I'm sure there's a lot of security risks with carrying $1 million in cash around a racetrack that doesn't have tunnels to exit. But would that not be super cool to see like the winner of the All-Star Race, some guy in like a black suit with sunglasses walk up, just open the briefcase and it's $1 million or something? Would that not be like super cool? Just me? Okay. But I get that the giant check, it's great for pictures and you can use it whenever, and I'm sure the drivers, they hang it on their wall or whatever as a trophy, but I think the briefcase with $1 million in cash, I think that'd be really cool. And if you don't want to actually mess around with real cash at the risk of it being stolen, then put $1 million fake dollars in there that look somewhat close, I guess, and it can be a great photo opportunity. And then you deliver the $1 million in cash to their front door and make it a social media video. Put it on the Twitter, the Instagrams, the Facebooks, whatever. So I don't know. It's my idea. If I take over NASCAR, it's the first thing I'm implementing because that's what matters, ladies and gentlemen. Monty, the problem is, Monty, if there was no caution in the Open, who's to say that there is a caution at all in this 100-lap race? Like, very well, it could have been SVG goes and wins by 5 seconds. I think Hocevar was second the entire time, and no one was really catching him, so they finished 1-2. There's no challenge for the final spot. There's no alternate strategies. 100 laps straight up under green. That would have been a little boring. So, personally, I like to see races progress naturally without staged cautions. But for the AllStar Open. I think they want to make it entertaining. They want to have a little bit more fun with it. So ultimately, I don't think we'll ever see an Open without a caution like that. So yeah, it's just my guess, I guess. Yeah, Michael Waltrip had a really cool jacket on, that Winston jacket. Are you talking about the Kyle Busch restart when he tried to take him 3 wide and it didn't go great? I think that's what David's talking about. Dude, but the problem, Denver, the problem with your idea is that NASCAR would have to like admit that they built the Xfinity car better than their Cup car. That's their high-tech, new generation of car. I think that would be the only problem with that. I think it'd be really cool. Like, I agree with you. I think the Cup drivers driving the Xfinity cars would be so cool, but it would require NASCAR to say that the next gen sucks at the short tracks, which they really don't like doing. So, Monty, so I was reading up on this on the internet. I was on Twitter, which Twitter's its own thing, but I went over even to Instagram. I so rarely go over there, but I saw a lot of people talking about like how Gregson interacts with the fans at the track, down to earth, talks to people, signs stuff whenever. Like, he's just super chill and he relates to the fans, and that's something that fans really appreciate. So I'm sure that has to play a factor in it. He used to drive for Dale Jr. I'm sure that doesn't hurt, but I think it's just him, his personality. He's always been a big personality. Fans have always liked him. And I think him just interacting with fans, I think that's a big part of it as well. All right, so who wants to get into more controversy regarding Penske drivers? We already talked about one Penske driver, Joey Logano, and his controversy and how he was all mad at Christopher Bell for, we still don't know why. Well, news dropped last night that right before the Fast 12, I guess this was yesterday afternoon, right before the Fast 12 in Indianapolis 500 qualifying, that the 2 and the 12 had withdrawn. Joseph Newgarden and Will Power, 2 Team Penske cars, had withdrawn from the Fast 12. They would start 11th and 12th in the Indianapolis 500. Very odd, very peculiar. But then it comes out that their cars had somehow failed inspection, and that's why they had to pull out. They had the option of qualifying on the illegal car, but then they would get relegated to the back, or they could, drop out of the Fast 12 and they start 11th and 12th. Well, this morning, the news drops from IndyCar, Team Penske technical violations. There's a lot of words here, so we're gonna condense this. Basically, their cars were illegal. They got caught, and they've been relegated to the back of the field. So instead of starting 11th and 12th, Joseph Newgarden and Will Power will start 32nd and 33rd in the greatest spectacle in racing. It was something to do with, it's such a weird word. What was it called? Eluder or something? Attributor? Attenuator. I was close. Yeah, so the number 2 and the number 12 cars, they had an illegal, or they had modified the attenuator, which they were not allowed to do. I cannot tell you what that means. I cannot tell you what kind of advantage that gives you. I'm not that much into IndyCar. I could not tell you a single thing. But the fact of the matter is the cars were illegal, and they got dropped to 32nd and 33rd. Of course, this causes an uproar in the IndyCar world, and now the Indianapolis 500, one of the biggest races, if not the biggest race in the world, this is their biggest event by, miles. I don't think anyone else could name. I couldn't tell you what their second biggest race is. The Indianapolis 500 is arguably the biggest race in the world. It's a huge deal. And now suddenly it's being clouded by this controversy because 2 Team Penske cars were illegal. If this was Chip Ganassi Racing, if this was McLaren, sure, there would still be a big cloud over it, I'm sure. But the biggest issue is it's Team Penske. Why is that the biggest issue? Team Penske is owned by Roger Penske. Do you know what else Roger Penske owns, ladies and gentlemen? That's right. He also owns not only the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, he also owns the IndyCar Series. So ever since Roger Penske has bought the series, ever since he's bought the Speedway, there has been a lot of people have their views on it, for sure. Conflicts of interest, how is this going to work? And I remember the first big uproar, or at least the one that blew up enough that I was looking at it constantly, was the whole push to pass scandal that happened last year or 2 years ago. Anything that Team Penske does, as long as Roger Penske owns that series, there's going to be people saying it's rigged, people saying that there's going to be favoritism. They dropped them to the back of the grid, and people are still, pretty upset. They're saying, I think it was Jacob Abel, that he's the only did not qualify. He's the only guy who didn't make the race. They're saying he should be in the race now. One of the Penskes should be out of the race. Like, unless you give a Penske car a death sentence in any sort of situation that's an illegal car, push to pass, whatever it may be, with a Penske car, there's going to be allegations. There's going to be tons of fans causing an uproar saying it's rigged or it's favored for Penske or whatever, which I don't think it actually is, but it is. It's always going to be there. As long as Roger Penske owns the series, as long as he owns a team in that series, it's always going to be brought up. It's always going to be a thing. But this is a really big deal. And ultimately, I hate it that we have this giant cloud. I love this race. I think every motorsport fan loves this race. And now we got this giant cloud hanging over it that's, two Team Penske cars. How were they legal for the first part of qualifying? They're able to qualify, make it to the Fast 12, but then we get to the Fast 12 a whole day later, and they just now find this part. And they can't qualify, and they get dropped to the back. Like, why was that not found earlier? Or why did they not get forced? Why did they not get forced to go to the LCQ? Why were they not forced to do bump day? Why do they get to keep their spots in the field? Now, let's be real here. Even if they fix that modified part, even if they fix that illegal part, let's be honest, the Team Penske cars are going to qualify for the field. In terms of raw pace, we can anticipate this. But on the flip side, you could argue it's been a sketchy weekend, or it's been a sketchy week, month of May, whatever you want to call it. We saw a lot of guys crashing out, losing their cars. I hate to say it because it sounds so bad when you say it, but, what if Newgarden or Will Power, they go out for their qualifying run on lap 2, they spin out, they hit the wall, and their car's damaged beyond repair, and suddenly they don't qualify for the race, and Jacob Abel's in. Like, you got to bring up that possibility. So, it's an odd situation. It's not a fun situation for IndyCar. It's not a fun situation for Indianapolis. It's not a fun situation for Team Penske, Roger Penske himself. A lot of teams are questioning it. A lot of teams are talking about it, obviously, as they should. It just sucks that it had to happen for this race, man. Why couldn't it have happened at like a random race, like Barber or something, I guess. So I hate that this is going to be clouding. They're going to talk about it so much in the pre-race next week. I'm sure it's going to be talked about for the rest of this week leading up to the race. And oh my God, can you imagine if Will Power or Newgarden wins the race? There's going to be a lot of angry fans, I think. So. Yeah, Monty, yeah. So last year's Indy 500 winner, Joseph Newgarden, his car is actually in the Indianapolis 500, or the Indianapolis Motor Speedway Museum. Fans can go in, they can go look at the car, and apparently it has the same part or the same modification that you weren't allowed to have. Now, I don't know. I got to admit, I don't know if the rules have changed. Maybe that was legal last year and it's not legal this year, but a lot of people were pointing it out. Yeah, man. So yeah, I really want to talk about this. It's a not great situation. It's ugly. It's not good. You got a lot of different opinions. You got a lot of mad teams. You got a lot of mad people in the IndyCar world. So it sucks, especially just because it's such a big race and it's such a big deal. Denver says, I'm a Will Power fan, but he and Joseph Newgarden should be disqualified or the bump qualifying at least. If one of them somehow wins, there will be an asterisk next to it. Conflict of interest, rear its ugly head again. Yeah, as I said, Denver, like everything you said right there is accurate. Like if they go out and win the race, oh my, that is going to be an I don't think like at the track, I don't think like it won't be like a Jeff Gordon meets Dale Jr. in a controversial fashion. They start throwing beer on the track or anything. I don't think it'll come down to that. But I think there's going to be a lot of questions in the media. There's going to be, no matter what, there's going to be social media outrage. But you might hear some booing from the stands. But if one of those two wins, it's going to be quite the you-know-what storm. So oof. As for Jacob Abel, I think he's handled this great. Getting bumped from the Indianapolis 500 has got to be one of the most soul-crushing things. I feel bad for him. You know, all these teams, all these drivers they work so hard to get to this place, to get to the opportunity to race in the Indianapolis 500, and to not make it, it sucks. But Jacob Abel, he went on Fox earlier today during the practice session this morning, and he said, I don't want to be there on a technicality. So basically, you know, the technicality would be the Penske cars are illegal. We didn't do anything. We weren't actually faster than them. We get put ahead. But you could counter argue, well, you could have been faster than them because their cars were illegal. They shouldn't be able to be on track. So it's once again it's been a you know what storm. It's been ugly. It's not been great. So we'll see. Yeah, I just wanted to talk about that. I knew you guys would have thoughts on it. So, but I'm really excited for the Indy 500. We will make our picks later. We will make our Monday picks later. But I think that's another tab that we can close. Let's go to Adam Stern. So Adam Stern, motorsports reporter. Great reporter, always posting stuff. We got a few things we got to look at for him. Okay? We already talked about that. Yes, food. If you're going to the track, go eat some food. So Zach Brown responded to the technical infringement. I guess that's what we're calling it. What a shame this cloud will continue to hover over our great race until everything is fully resolved. I'm very concerned to find that Team Penske has been found with a multi-car major technical infringement for the second time. Of course, the push-to-pass controversy I mentioned from a couple of years ago, that was a Team Penske thing. I think all of them were involved. Tim Cindric got suspended. Like, it was a really big deal. So this is the second time in a couple of years, Team Penske, the team owned by Roger Penske, who also owns the IndyCar series, this is the second time they've had a major, as Zach Brown said, technical infringement that has been scandalous. This is the second time in a few years that Team Penske has been scandalous in terms of their race cars. So basically, everyone's going to be mad in the garage. I'm sure Chip Ganassi's not happy. It doesn't matter who you are. I'm sure no one's happy unless even Team Penske's not happy theoretically. They don't want to be viewed as cheaters. They don't want to be called cheaters. They don't want their integrity questioned. But the fact of the matter is, they broke the rules. Anywho. And then this one. Oh, this is so beautiful, ladies and gentlemen. Oh my goodness, I'm so happy. I'm going to come back to this later. Look at this. I almost cried reading this. Prime Video. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have some big NASCAR news. The Fox season is over. A lot of people have opinions on that. But for the first time in NASCAR history, the NASCAR Cup Series will be streamed exclusively on Amazon Prime Video. And Amazon Prime Video, I love you already because you came out this morning and you said this. We want to avoid the frustration of being in a full commercial and having something on track happen and fans miss it. It's so beautiful. It's so beautiful. We're not going to see a single full screen commercial during green flag racing for 5 straight races. Is that not the most beautiful thing you've ever heard? I am so happy, so thrilled, so glad that Amazon is committing to this. I get that these big broadcast partners, they need to make their money. They got their ad deals, and that's what pays the bills. But I hate when it goes to a full screen commercial during a NASCAR race. In NASCAR tradition, we either have a caution or we have a lead change when we go to a full screen commercial. Well, guess what, ladies and gentlemen? We will not miss a single caution. We will not miss a single lead change because Prime Video has committed to not doing full screen commercials under green flag conditions. Now, under caution, yeah, throw some full screen commercials on during caution. There's nothing happening anyways. Like, go crazy with it. But under green, it drives me crazy. Remember at Talladega when there was like 5 laps to go and we were sitting on a full screen commercial? Anywho, Amazon Prime Video, I love you so far. I cannot wait to see what their broadcast is like because Amazon, they have so much money, so much tech. They have all these analytics, all these data that they did for, are they Monday or Thursday Night Football? I think they're Thursday. For Thursday Night Football, they have all these data, analytic, robot thingies that do all this math equations for them. And they add it to the broadcast and they make it like a heavy emphasis. So I'm very curious to see what they do, what kind of graphics they have, the direction of the actual broadcast, to see how the booth meshes together. Adam Alexander, Steve Letarte, Dale Jr., the pit reporters. I mean, these are all familiar faces in terms of the booth and the pit reporting, but to see how it meshes, to see what unique touch Amazon has for it. So that starts this weekend. Amazon Prime Video, Coca-Cola 600, one of our crown jewels. Very excited to see how they do. But this is a beautiful start right here. Now back to this. This is cool, okay? This Sunday's Indy 500 will be streamed in Times Square in New York City on Silvercast Media's Megazilla HD screen. So I don't know what the Megazilla HD screen is, but could you imagine being in New York City, going to Times Square, and you look up and it's the Indianapolis 500? That would be the coolest thing ever. In my opinion, that would be the coolest. I mean, someone who doesn't like motorsports, that's probably not the coolest thing ever. But guess what? I'm a motorsports fan, so that's a checkered flag, by the way, if you can't see it. So that'd be the coolest thing ever. Just instinct just told me to wave the flag. It's super cool. I think that's it from Stern. Hey, look, it's Michael Waltrip waving the flag. Look at him. Look at him go. Go get him, Mikey. Oof. Denver, I don't think they can do that because Pinsky just bought it like 4 or 5 years ago. So it's been recent, and I don't think he's going to give it up just like that. If there was some lawsuit maybe and he got forced to give it up maybe, but there's no lawsuit. It's not like NASCAR. Oh, you Australians, you guys are so lucky you don't have to deal with commercials. I wish we had it that way. But I get the Larson IndyCar diecast. That'd be cool. I mean, I'd rather see him, complete the 1100 first, but it'd be cool for sure. So, yeah, that'd be neat, I guess, but we'll see. All right, next tab. Let's see here. We already did this. Cool. All right, we're down to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We're down to 7 tabs. Let's go. Trucks. Do we want to talk about trucks anymore? Can I close this tab? We've actually done a really good job time-wise, if you ask me. Truck points. I guess we can look at the truck points. Corey Heim still leading the points. Still has a giant lead. God almighty, he's led a lot of laps this year. 21 playoff points. Woo. All right. Chandler Smith has also led a lot of laps. Nowhere close to Heim. Won a couple races. Okay. I don't know what else here. Guess we can see who's last in truck points. Derek White, last in truck points. Clay Greenfield. Akinori Ogata. I think I pronounced that right. Apologies if I didn't. Let's see here. So many drivers have driven the 22 truck. Norm! Look at Norm up in 34th in points. Only 6 points off of Parker Kligerman. Norm Benning, ladies and gentlemen. Timmy Hill's up here. 42 points in the 56 truck. There's another driver in the 22 truck. Anywho, I think we're good on truck points. Hey, how to watch NASCAR on Prime. Since we were just talking about Prime Video, yeah. Okay, here's this article. You can get a 30-day free trial according to this. Go join Prime and watch the races. And here are races on Amazon Prime Video. Charlotte, the Coca-Cola 600, our crown jewel, one of our crown jewels, one of the 4. Then we go to Nashville. Then we go to Michigan. Then we go to Mexico. That'll be a fun one. Then we go to Pocono. And then after that, we move on to TNT. But yes, NASCAR, Prime Video, year 1. Let's see how this goes. There's your schedule once again if you need it. I think you can. Yeah, okay, cool. You can see it all. I wasn't sure if I was covering it. All right, that's another tab. F1. We had some F1 this weekend. Max Verstappen with the most insane move around turn 1. Just absolutely sends it. Doesn't make any contact. Doesn't crash everyone. Or not everyone, but anyone. Oscar Piastri too busy looking in his mirrors at George Russell. And there goes Verstappen round the outside. And gone forever. Wins the race by 6 seconds. Now, we've talked about how much of a rocket ship that McLaren is this year, but if Red Bull figures it out, man, look at this, okay? If Red Bull figures it out and they're like anywhere close to McLaren, it's over. In terms of the drivers, the constructors, McLaren's still going to win, but Max Verstappen's only 22 points off. There's like 20 races left. Okay, maybe not 20, like 15 races left. You give Max Verstappen the car and you give him 15 races to make up 22 points, you don't have a chance. It's not close. So, yeah, McLaren needs to stop screwing around. They need to win more. I know that they've won all but 2 races at this point, so it's not like they've been just choking like every single race like they were last year at times, but they got to get it together. I hate to say this, but they got to get it together. I know they're still winning. They're still 1-2 in the drivers. They're still running away with the constructors, but he's lurking. And if Red Bull figures it out, I think they got upgrades at either Spain or whatever's after Spain. Red Bull's coming with some upgrades. If those upgrades work and if they're quicker, if Max is quicker than them, oof. Oh boy, that's going to be McLaren's got to capitalize right now, man. They got the fastest car. They got to do it, man. But shall we move on to our Monday picks? Is it too early for Monday picks? Do we want to keep talking or do we want to go to Monday picks? What do we want to do here? Let's do a quick poll. Did that work? Aha. Did it work down here? Ooh, it did. Yay. All right, cool. 67% said yes. 75% said yes. How many people is that? Does it tell me down here? That's the 4 whole people. Talk about F1. All right, yeah, we can keep going on F1. Yeah, just stop messing around, McLaren. Like, you're going to throw this thing away, you guys got to chill. What about Williams? What in the world? That Williams car is on NOS or something. I know everyone had high expectations. They picked up signs. They were looking like they were going to have a fast car for the first time since, like, Pastor Maldonado. But what? Like, they're comfortably in fifth in the constructors. It would take a Kevin Magnussen Brazil pole and conversion along with some other points to even them up. What? Sauber's doing about what we expected. I think we all had Sauber last in our constructors and drivers. Alpine, what are you guys doing? Firing people after 4 races, you bozos. And also hiring a guy who was literally banned from F1 as your team principal. Questionable decisions by the team in 9th. Red Bull Jr., okay, we didn't have high expectations for you. Aston Martin, let me show you something right here. Did you guys know? Hello, you. Hi. There are 10 people watching this right now. You. Yes, you. You have the same amount of points as 2-time world champion Fernando Alonso. Congratulations. You have scored the same amount of points as a 2-time champion. And let's check in on his teammate. Surely we have to scroll down really far to find him. Oh, wait. We don't have to scroll down. We have to scroll up. Lance Stroll is beating Fernando Alonso by 2 touchdowns. Lance Stroll has scored 100% of Aston Martin's points. How many races have we had? I have to know this now. How many races have we had? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We've had 7 races. Lance Stroll has scored 100% of Aston Martin's points. And it's not like 1 or 2 points. 14. He has scored 14 to Alonso's 0. What? I don't even know anymore. What is life at this point? Anywho. All right, let's do it. Let's do our Monday picks. We have a religious holiday this weekend for motorsports fans because we got Monaco. Over here in the US of A, Australia, New Zealand people, this is the time of year you suffer because these races are at what, like 4 a.m. for you, 5 a.m., 2 a.m. For me, it's a bright and early 8 a.m. Actually, a somewhat convenient time. But we have our motorsport religious holiday where we have Monaco. In the US, it's Monaco at 8 a.m., Indy at noon, Coca-Cola 600 at Charlotte at 5 p.m. At least that's Central Time Zone. As I said, religious holiday for motorsports fans. So let's start off our Monday picks with Monaco. The Monaco Grand Prix. Hasn't been a pass there in decades. Okay, there has been, but you guys get my point. I think we can all be real. Whoever gets the pole is going to win this race unless it's a Ferrari, because Ferrari will find a way to throw it away, even though they are the defending winners of this race. So maybe Ferrari has a shot. Do I dare say it? Anywho. So, basically, who's going to win the pole? But for real, who do you think is going to win the Monaco Grand Prix? You know who the F1 drivers are, I hope. If you don't, let's see what you got. Everyone make your pick. Monaco Grand Prix, historic race. I guess I can go to the driver standings. You can make your pick off of that. David's going with Lewis Hamilton. It's kind of a bold pick, considering how Ferrari started this year. Brett Ryan is going with Max. Klaus NZ has lost his mind and is going with Liam Lawson. In between the lanes is going with Leclerc. Okay, so we've got a wide variety. We've got Klaus NZ who is sticking Loyal to his Kiwi buddy. We've got Marty going with Lando. Okay. So we got a Lando, we got a Max, we got a Leclerc, we got a Hamilton, we got to scroll really far for this one. We got a Lawson. We got a lot of picks here. Shocked that no one has picked the world championship leader at the moment. So sure, I'll do it. Oscar Piastri. Why not? He's going to get his first Monaco win. He's going to win the pole. I mean, Oscar Piastri's been qualifying great this year. Even in the races he's lost. I think Verstappen converted pole at Japan. Right? Piastri might have been on pole there. But, I mean, Piastri was on pole this past week. Obviously did not convert. Well, this week it's Oscar's time to shine, baby. Oscar Piastri is going to win the Monaco Grand Prix. Now, let's go to the next one in chronological order. Well, actually, we're already out of chronological order because the Xfinity Series. We'll do NASCAR separately. Next up, the Indianapolis 500. The 109th edition. Ooh, can I download this as a PDF? That's fun. This is a PDF. Ooh, so fun. PDFs are fun. All right. Everyone, pick your Indy 500 winner. David going with Pato O'Ward Redemption. Of course, Pato O'Ward took the white flag last year. So, and bonus. I got a bonus Monday pick for all you NASCAR fans. Where does Kyle Larson finish? And oh God, should I Google it? Oh no. I'm going to Google it. Indianapolis weather. I have not looked at it yet. I'm so scared. I'm scared. Please stop. Oh, thank God. We're good. Okay. It says it's going to be cloudy on Sunday. It says there's a 10% chance of rain from 11 onwards, but 10%, that's a low percentage. Let's hope that stays that way. We can't have rain. Please, no. If it's going to rain, rain at Charlotte, would you? Okay? Thank you for the pop-up ad. No, stop popping up. Let's see what AccuWeather says. AccuWeather's all over the place, but I need multiple sources telling me it's not going to rain on Monday or Sunday. Okay, AccuWeather says no. Hey, they even mentioned the race. They say, time of clouds and sun, great day for the race. The high of 66, low of 49. Oh, what I would give for that right now. I'm in Texas. It's like 86 and muggy and humid and thunderstorms, and it sucks. I hate it. I wish we could have cold weather here. Or 66 and 49. That's like the perfect temperature right there. Oh, that's beautiful. If I was there, I might cry. Anywho, yeah, we need it to not run on Sunday. But everyone, okay, yeah, we got some Monday picks. So, who's going to win the Indianapolis 500 and where does Kyle Larson finish? Alex Palou is in between the lanes pick. In between the lanes also wants to note that he would love Larson to win. Clausen Z's going with Dixon. Clausen Z, I'm noticing a trend in your picks. In between the lanes says a top 10 for Larson. Staffamatio NZ is going with Scotty Mack. Clausen Z says Larson DNF. Oh my. Marty is also going with a Kyle Larson crash. Scotty Mack to win though. David's going with a runner-up finish for Kyle Larson. Okay. I'm tempted. I've picked Pato like 3 straight years, and then he ends up not winning. I'm tempted to just pick Pato until he wins. But then what if he never wins it and I look like an idiot? So I feel like I could go different this year. Should I just pick the nastiest pick that'll just should I just pick Newgarden or Will Power just because that'll just rise so much out of everyone? Should I pick Stingray Rob? That's such a fun name. You know what? I know who I'm going to go with. I am going to go with. It would be such a fun story. I'm going to go with Takuma Sato. 48 years old, winning his third 500. That would be such a fun story. Seriously, I'm going to go with Takuma Sato. That's my Monday pick for the Indy 500. As for Larson, P12. Larson 12th. He does not speed on pit road this time. Yeah. Okay. Let's move on to NASCAR. Let's start with... Oh, trucks are racing? Okay, cool. I kind of just thought it was a doubleheader. Truck Series. Notable entries. Brandon Jones. Kyle Busch. Get loud for McLeod, ladies and gentlemen. BJ McLeod is racing a Spire Motorsports truck. Get loud for McLeod. Other notable entries. Ross Chastain in the 44. I think that's it. Yeah, that's it. So we got Ross Chastain. We got BJ McLeod in a Spire truck. We got Kyle Busch. Brandon Jones is in the one truck for like the 50th time this year. David's going with Kyle Busch. In between the lanes is going with Kyle Busch. We got a lot of Kyle Busch picks here. See, I said last week, I said that I was going to pick Kyle Busch until he gave me a reason not to pick Kyle Busch. And ultimately, maybe just last week wasn't his week. But dang it, it would be so fun if BJ McLeod shows up his first ever truck race in a competitive truck, in a Spire Motorsports truck and won. Marty is going with Corey Heim. I'm doing it. Get loud for McLeod, baby. I'm going with BJ McLeod all the way. BJ McLeod to win the truck race. Come on, man. It would be so cool, so fun. If BJ McLeod wins on Friday night, I'm getting loud for McLeod. I'm making a video of just me saying get loud for McLeod or something. So, all right, let's move on to Xfinity. Notable entries in Xfinity. Austin Dillon is in the field. Okay. That is so random. Austin Dillon's in the field. Okay. William Byron's in the 17. Chase Briscoe's in the JGR 19. Catherine Legg's in the field. The I is in the field. Connor Zilic is back, as we said earlier in the stream. Connor Zilic is indeed back in the 88 car this week. So, yeah. Briscoe is in between the lanes pick. William Byron is David's pick. Okay, we're going with the Cup guys, I see. Trying to think. Wow. Denver saying Scotty Mack to win the Indy 500. Kyle Larson to complete the 1100. And not only that, but to win the 600. That would be crazy if that happened, Denver. And then Zilic to win Xfinity. Marty's going with Taylor Gray. Okay. I'm gonna go with Briscoe. Briscoe's always so good in those Xfinity cars. So his first time in a JGR Xfinity car, I think that could be crazy. So I'm gonna go with Chase Briscoe. I'm gonna go with some of you guys in the comments. I'm gonna go with the Cup guy. Now for the Coca-Cola 600. We have a crown jewel for the second time this year. I will point out the notable entries, but everyone get yourself a look. Look for your favorite driver. See what sponsor they're running this week. Remember, Larson's running a special paint scheme for the 1100 attempt. A lot of patriotic schemes this week, of course, because it's Memorial Day. Notable entries are, we're getting to them. We'll get to them at some point. I hope. All right, everyone. Everyone laugh at Cole Custer's sponsor. Look at this. Look at how funny this is. Did you know that the Texas A&M Aggies made history last night, ladies and gentlemen? The Texas A&M Aggies softball team became the first ever #1 seed in history to not advance to the Super Regionals. And their baseball team, they're either the first, they're about to be the first team in history to be the preseason number one and not make the NCAA tournament, or they're the first team in like 40 years to be the number one seed and not make the NCAA tournament. So Texas A&M making history in the worst possible ways. Always funny. How about them Aggies? Anywho, had to do something. The I is doing double duty, driving the 53 car in the Xfinity Series, and the I is also driving the 44 in the Cup Series. And is 125 years old. Oh my goodness, this has got to be a NASCAR record. 125 years old and racing a Cup Series car. This I is insane. Oh my goodness. We're about to see history this weekend, ladies and gentlemen. Josh Bilicki's in the 66. That's a notable entry. Jimmy Johnson is going to be racing this weekend in the 84 for Legacy Motor Club. And then Connor Zilic will be in the number 87 once again. And then for you SVG fans, he will be in the WeatherTech car, but I think they're doing a patriotic scheme. They've been teasing patriotic schemes all day, so ooh. Oh, let's go. We're no longer in a tornado watch. That's fun. Trackhouse. Yes, I think they're teasing a new paint scheme for SVG, so it may not be the normal WeatherTech paint scheme. Yeah, it looks like it's going to be a patriotic one, but it's going to be the same base. It's still going to be a white paint scheme. I think. Maybe. We'll see. I'll post it tomorrow. All right. Let's hear them. Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear your predictions for the Coca-Cola 600. It's our only 600-mile race, and I need to do my conversion. I don't want the movie. 965.6 kilometers. So, a lot of kilometers. William Byron is David's pick. Briscoe or Busch for in between the lanes. Look at the age difference between Jimmy and Connor. Jesus Christ. Woo! Oh boy. All right. Just wait till you see the age difference between Connor Zilic and I. Oh my goodness. 107-year difference. Christopher Bell is Marty's picking. Marty's also going with the SVG top 10. All right. It's a little bit of a bold prediction, but he has raced the 600 before. We'll see how he does. I think a top 20 is realistic, though. I think that's reasonable for him. Let's hear him. Come on, people. Let's hear your Coca-Cola 600 race win pick. Kyle Larson wins the Indianapolis 500 and 600. That would be crazy, David, for sure. No, dude, first of all, only one person has ever completed both races in the same day. If Kyle Larson wins them both, he could honestly retire and, he'll be beyond legendary. So, he could literally get out of the car of the Coke 600 and say, I'm retiring right now. That's how I want to end my career. And I think everyone will go, yeah, he's an all-timer. All right, Coke 600 pick. I'm thinking back to Kansas because Kansas is always a good they're both kind of high-banked, multi-grooved. I know it's different conditions and whatnot, but I feel like that's always a good sign. If you're fast at Kansas, you can be fast at Charlotte too. I'm going to go a little, not too crazy, but a little crazy. I'm going to go with, I'm rethinking again. I got it down to the chases. Briscoe or Elliott. In fact, I got someone up here. Come on. Aha. I knew I had one up here. I got a bag full of them. I'm going to flip a coin. Okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen. If this quarter lands on heads, Chase Elliott is my pick. If it lands on tails, Chase Briscoe is my pick. Chase Elliott it is. All right, Chase Elliott, Monday pick to win the Coca-Cola 600. There we go. So, in conclusion, my Monday picks are Formula One, Oscar Piastri to win Monaco. Takuma Sato to win the Indy 500. Truck Series, I'm getting loud for McLeod. Xfinity Series, I'm going with Chase Briscoe. Cup Series, I'm going with Chase Elliott. So, yeah. Thank you guys for being here. As always, I love doing this Monday do we call it a podcast? Do we call it a live stream? Do we just call it a show? Like, what do we call it, really? Whatever we call it, the Monday after. I appreciate you guys for being here. As always have fun. Love doing our Monday picks. So, got to make fun of Texas A&M this week, so that was fun. But yeah, thanks to everyone for showing up. Hope you enjoyed it. We went a little bit long this week, but we had a lot of stories to cover, a lot of topics to talk about. IndyCar scandals. Connor Zilic is back. RFK appeal. So much going on in the motorsport world, but thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you guys in the next one. We got a full weekend of motorsports coming up, so I'm really excited. One of my favorite weekends of the year.